Gucci. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much for choosing to watch this video, and if you are a golden oldie, a returnee, thank you so much for watching another video. Happy New Year. A lot has happened. I think I'm filming this specific video for like the 5th time now. The last time I filmed this video, I looked exactly like this. So I tried to like redo the look again. I really liked it. The video looked really good. My problem was that I lost my footage because my laptop died on me. Officially, you could say this is the first video of the year and I'm very excited. Things are about to get better. The quality is about to get so much better. So let's do this. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Kade kwasa ngibona. Okay, this is from like when I was still in South Africa in varsity, and you know, in varsity we have friends. I had this one friend that, you know, just to give you a backstory, I lived with her like in the same building in first year. She was an amazing person. Fast forward to 2018, people grow apart. I feel like I should just put it like that, and it gets to points where, you know, you might not be as close. And in our case, like, we were in different schools. She was in UJ and I was at Wits, ne? The story starts when it's 2018. She lives closer to UJ and I live right in front of Wits. A lot of things happened when I lived at Nozo actually. It was towards the end of the year. She contacts me this one time and she's like, hey, I'm not really sure if it was a housewarming or a house party. I don't really remember. She was like, hey, so I'm hosting this little thing. If you could come over, I would absolutely love it. And I'm like, oh, okay, don't worry. And you know, I don't go out much, so most of the time when people are like, hey, let's go do something, I'll probably show up because I don't really go out much, you know. Fine, cool, grand sharp. On the day of the thing, one thing about me, I'm a very helpful person. So if we are close or if I know you like that and you have like a thing, most of the time I'm gonna be there to help you prep, ne? So I remember I packed like the outfit that I was gonna be wearing that night, and then I wore like casual outfits because I knew that I was gonna get there early and I was going to help her, you know, set up. I get there, and when I get there, she hasn't done much. We could basically say she hadn't started at that point. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. We cook, you know, I think she had started cooking, you know, and then we had like started setting up. So I went to where she lived, you know, her student accommodation, and they were having the house party in like another like location. If you know UJ and you know the area that it's in, most students live in people's houses. People rent their houses out to students, so you know, there's not a lot of security, you know, there's not a lot of rules. So that's why they decided to like host the house thing at like someone else's house where students live, ne? We cook at like her student accommodation, and then she mentions something about, you know, like shota. I remember one of the things shota, we were making a chakalaka and we didn't have, I think we didn't have enough those tins of baked beans. So she was like, okay, let's go to Campus Square and, you know, let's go buy. We go there, and I don't remember, because I also have a tendency of like offering without, you know, people asking for my help. So it got to a point where I think she mentioned that she was short on cash, and I was like, don't worry, I got you, you know, like, don't even mention it, it's fine. Anything you need money for, I'm gonna give it to you, and then you'll just give it to me later. Okay, go to Campus Square, we dollar the things, we buy, we go. We come back, we continue prepping, and you know, the things happen and we move to the next location, and the thing starts. We change, put on makeup, we we look good, kwenziwa ama-punch, we have a great time, people come over, and you know, it's a vibe.
When I do what you want, I go do what you want.
So I decided to leave at some point. I think it was like 2 a.m. in the morning. Get an Uber, I leave, and you know, I leave. I go back home. So now I'm gonna pause here and get into another story. It's one big story basically. Fast forward to a few weeks later, if I'm not mistaken, I go home. So home is like 20 minutes away from Vids. If you know Forslow, like the East Rand, it's like really close to Vids. So I had gone home that weekend and I went back to school on like a Monday mid-morning. I used taxis because at that point I obviously didn't have a car, and you know, I was waiting for a taxi, and you know, this guy, his house was like really close to like the area where we waited for, you know, taxis, cabs, if you call them cabs. He leaves his house and then he stops. He's like, hey, how are you? I'm, you know, where are you going? I remember in one of my videos I had mentioned that I don't really accept lifts from people anymore, because at some point you know, I got threatened because I had accepted, you know, a ride from someone, you know, from a guy. So I don't do that anymore. So that was the case even with this one. But what changed my mind was that he was wearing police uniform. Where are you going? And I'm like, I'm going to Joburg CBD. That's another thing. I don't, if you're a girl in South Africa, you know, it's unsafe for women over there. So you don't always have to be honest if you're speaking to someone. So I obviously didn't say I was going to Vids. I just said I was going to Joburg CBD. Obviously I was going to Joburg CBD because then I would catch the next taxi to Bram. And then he's like, come, let's go. And I'm like, yo. He's like, what's the worst that could happen? You know, like, I'm literally the arm of the law, direct translation. Asambe, I'm looking for company. I'm pretty sure you don't want to be standing here for a very long time. I'm like, okay, fine. And also I saw the uniform. You can't trust men in South Africa, but because, you know, he's part of like the police force, it's fine, you know, I'll just take a chance. Me right. He's like, you know, my name is, for story's sake, let's call him Tim. He's like, my name is Tim. I'm like, Ampome. And I ask him what he does, and he's like, yeah, da 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 da. And then when we get to Joburg CBD, he's like, where are you going from here? And I'm like, I'm actually going to Bram because I'm a Wits student. I live in Bram. He's like, oh no, it's fine because it's right here. I'll take you to Bram. Then he takes me to Bram. Fast forward, ne, another like teeny tiny story.
Bombastic side eye.
I used to like walk to Joburg CBD from Bram from like time to time and walk back to Bram. So I remember this one time it was like getting late, so I went to Joburg CBD, and then on my way back it like got dark, and then there's this area, if you know Bram Gate, ne? Bram Gate is like by the corner opposite the Gautrain station and like the Ria Vaya station. There's like those really dingy streets around that area. I was going to be walking like through those streets. I saw a police car. There's like those women that normally sell corn on the cob, and they also sell, sometimes they sell like pap and meats, you know. So most of the time, because that's what like police guys eat, during lunch you'll find them hanging around those spots. So there was this police van over there. I passed by there, and you know, I greet, hi, how are you? And they're like, oh, hi, where are you going? It's like really late. I'm like, no, I'm going to Bronx. Like, yeah, it's really late for a girl to be walking in this area. And you know, I joke around and I'm like, what if I'm not a girl? And I say something along the lines of, I don't know, tough like that or something like that, like something silly. And you know, they just laugh and we have like small talk. And this like other guy, let's call him Max, he's like, I'm Max. And I'm like, Max, actually, because it's dangerous, you said it's dangerous, why don't you take me home? And Max is like, I see what you did there, but okay. Then he takes me home before we get home, we're just talking, and he tells me that he works at he gives me the name of the station that they work at in Joburg CBD. He's like, oh, I work in like Commissioner Street. And I'm like, oh, do you know Tim? And he's like, oh, Tim is like my superior, my senior. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. He's like, yeah, he's a really cool guy. And we like have small talk, and then he drops me off. And then both guys, I think I gave both guys my number. I definitely gave Tim my number. I don't remember if I gave Max my number. Now let's come back to the main story. I came back from the party, and we continue with our lives. A few weeks later, I'm like, hey, can you give me, the money that I borrowed to you when we were together? And the amount was 500 rands, okay? She's like, oh yeah, that's okay. Can you please give me until, I think she said until like next week or like 2 weeks later. I'm not a like fussy person, and I'm a very understanding person. So if you speak to me and you talk to me about something, or you like, I don't know, explain or like communicate with me, I'm always like willing to understand situations. So she was like, hey, ngicela ukukunikeza at this point, and I was like, okay, that's fine. Fast forward to the day when she's supposed to give me the money. I think the first time it was supposed to be like on a Friday, né? So I contact her. One thing I hate following up, reminding people. I absolutely hate it. But obviously sometimes you have to do it because some people really do forget. Some people really do need the reminder and stuff like that. But I just don't like following up in general. I obviously text her, hi, so can you please, I think she said, hey, I'm so sorry, can we do it next Wednesday, and I was like, oh, okay, that's not a problem. Fast forward, it's Wednesday now, and this person is still not, and the one thing that annoyed me the most was that she wouldn't communicate with me beforehand that, hey, I know that I said I would give you the money tomorrow or today, but I can't like do it right now, so can you please give me more time, or can I give it to you on this day? I would be the one who had to like contact her, and then she would give me an excuse, and then I'd be like, okay, and then she would go dead again. And during this time, she's posting, like everything is normal. She's posting, she's doing her makeup, she's going out, and I'm just like, mtase, I will. Obviously, I keep doing the same thing. Life is going on, obviously. I went home at some point and I told my cousin about it. I'm like, hey, this girl, I borrowed her money, and she's not trying to give me my money back at this point. My cousin is like, let's call her. Actually, wait, I don't give her a name, ne? Let's call her Lisa. I think Lisa's fine, ne? Let's call her Lisa. Got to a point where Lisa wasn't answering her phone anymore. She would ignore my texts. She wasn't doing the, oh, I'm so sorry, can I give it to you Wednesday or something. She was just, there's nothing in my whole entire life that I hate more than being in a state of just being helpless, So when it gets to a point where someone puts me in a position where I'm like really helpless, I hate it. And she's like, actually, let's call her, because she's older, she's older than me. My cousin, she's older than me. She's like, let's call her. We call her. Did we use her phone? I think we used her phone. We call her.
This is Woman's cousin. I hear that you owe her money. When are you going to give her her money back?
And she's like, I'm gonna give her the money when I have it. She's like, no, but she's like been giving you like so many chances, and you are failing her. What's going on, And then she starts being like rude towards my cousin, and she's on loudspeaker, so I hear everything. She's like, I'm gonna give her the money when I have it. She needs to chill, my cousin, you could say, is just like her. So now they are busy fighting over the phone, and I'm just here like, guys, it doesn't have to go there. On top of that, she would just randomly hang up, and then you call again, and then she'll answer and be like, hey, but I did say that I don't have the money right now. What am I supposed to do? So can you please just stop calling me, stop bothering me? And it's like, dude, like, why are you acting like that? At that point, she was with her friend, who I could say was also my friend at that point, a mutual friend, and we tried calling her phone, and she was like, listen, I love you so much, but I am not interested. Ningangi fight, okay? We kind of like stopped because it was getting to a point where now, you know, they're raising their voices at each other, and we weren't getting a way forward from the whole thing. Fast forward, I was talking to Max. We were just conversing. And I remember getting this idea. It was on a random day, and it was towards the end of the day. I remember in my head, my brain was like, hey, do you think? And then I asked Max, I was like, you know what? I actually have a little problem. I have a friend who owes me money, but, you know, like, she doesn't want to give me my money back, and she's just, you know, like, really rude about stuff. So I just wanted to find out, is it possible to, like, help me get my money back, you know? And Max was like, Gagoza, I hear you. Where is this person? And I'm like, oh, she is by UJ. And then he asked, where are you right now? And I was like, oh, I'm at home, meaning like my student accommodation. He's like, I'm like 10 minutes away from there, but I'm gonna go back to the station. I just need to do something quickly, and then I'm gonna come back, and yeah, we'll go. Do you know where she lives? And I'm like, yeah, I know where she lives. He was like, oh, okay, I bet, let's go. And I'm like, I wait, obviously. Then he contacts me. He's like, hey, I'm outside. When I get downstairs, it's like a police van. I go inside, and it's like him, and it's Tim. Like, Tim is like, hi, long time no see. I heard there's a dilemma. Me, I like fun stuff. Let's go. I'm a bit scared because it's like, this is not my forte, not my playground. This is not something that I like. I don't like things that, I don't like quarrels and like fights.
Oh, lies, lies, lies.
I was a bit scared because, you know, how umntana abantu sengaze ngimbizele amaphoyisa for the 500 rand. We get in the car. This is where, you know, the fun stuff begins. I feel like it's over staring namhlanje. Obviously, they asked me about the money thing. They're like, how did it get to a point where you're giving her, you know, so much money? Because at that point, remember, I'm a student. So them as like people who are older, they'd like to believe that 500 rands is a lot of money for me because I'm a student, you know. But looking back right now, like 500 is like literally nothing. We get there, and there's like the receptionist person, like the person by the check-in area where students who live there, you know, go in and out, and visitors sign in, you know, and we go there. And let me tell you, the guy we find at like the front desk is like, hi, how are you? But you know, he's a little alarmed because police showing up is like really alarming, you know, like, why gunamapoisa? What's going on, you know? So we get there, they're like, hi, we are looking for Lisa. The guy is like, we do have a couple of Lisas here. Which one are you looking for? Do you know which floor she's on? And I'm like, yeah, I know the floor, but I'm not sure of the unit number, but I can point it out to you when I see it. I just don't remember which one it is. It's like, oh, okay, that's fine. But before you go inside, I have to, you know, call I think it's the caretaker, like the building manager, so that they can come and assist you, you know, because what's going on? And the police are like, no, we just want to have a conversation with her. It's nothing too deep. And then the guy is like, no, I still have to call the building manager so that you can speak to him, because I sense trouble. I sense They call the building manager. He comes downstairs. He's like, hi guys, how can I help you? Is everything fine? They narrate the whole story. They're like, no, we're just here to collect. We just have to speak to this Lisa person. And the guy's like, oh, okay, that's not a problem. They sign us in. We go in, take the lift. We go to the 5th floor. She lived on the 5th floor. We knock. In like one unit, there were like 3 bedrooms or 2 or even like 1, depending on your budget. So she lived in a 3-room unit. So it was her and like 2 other girls, and we knocked like on the main door of the unit. One of the girls that she lived with opened the unit, and we were like, hi, we're looking for Lisa. And she's like, oh, I haven't seen her today, but I think she is around. I point at her door, because obviously, as I did say, I just didn't remember the number, but I can point, I can show them where she lives if, you know, I got to see it. But no, cake, they look. Silence. The building manager is like, I'm not sure if she's inside. Tim is like, Lisa, if you don't open this door right now, we are going to open this door. It's the popo. If you don't open this door, we're gonna open it for you. So
akabizwe amtshotse ngikhona fikile lo 10-1.
the building manager was like, Lisa, some people are looking for you. If you're inside, please open the door, because I'm going to have to open the door, you know, as the building manager, because it's really important. After that, you know, we hear a little shuffling, you know, inside. The door opens. As soon as she opens the door, she's like, what's gone on now? She's a little alarmed because, you know, there's police. I think she saw them first and got confused, and then she saw me and got even more confused.
Gotcha, bitch.
They're like, hi, how are you? Can we come in, please? And, you know, we go in. Guys, the building manager stayed by the door. We went in. I sat down on like the chair, because it's a student accommodation, so you get a bed, a table, and a chair, right? So I sat on the chair, and then I think Tim stood by the wardrobe and Max leaned on like the table, and she sat on her bed. And then they're like, yeah, unjani. That moment brought so much joy in my heart. Max spoke first, and then Tim spoke towards the end. So Max was like, so tell us, why are you not giving this poor child her money? And she's like, yeah, no.
It's just that I had let her know prior that, you know, I'm having financial issues, and, you know, I just needed a little more time, and we had spoken about it.
Max was like, that's not what we heard. And she's like, yeah, no, we had spoken about it because, you know, I had mentioned to her a couple of times, and I'm just really sorry. It's just that, you know, I had a little bit of an issue on my side with regards to money. I was going to contact her tonight and just let her know that I was going to give her her money soon. And then they're like, no, but why are you, when she, because what we know is that when she tries to contact you and like speak to you about it, you curve her, you're so rude, you don't want to give her, you don't seem like someone who wants to give her her money back. So what's that about? And she's like, no, you know, it's not like that. I think maybe we just had like a misunderstanding. Tim's like, when are you gonna give her money back? She mentioned that she was gonna pay me on a Friday. She was like, I'm gonna pay her on Friday, this Friday, and guys, in this moment, I remember we got there, and after, you know, I spoke to the building manager and, you know, the front desk person. I was like, oh, we're looking for this person, When we got upstairs and we went into her room, I didn't speak. I was quiet the entire time. The power I felt like, you know, I was on top of the world, because where now, what did you think was gonna happen? That's how I felt, and that's how, you know, I was, you know, reacting, like my face, my body language. It was like, yeah, like, what did you think was gonna happen? Who's the boss now? There's also something so sexy about, you know, like just a man standing up for you and just like I remember at that point Tim was like, listen, I don't want to come back, because if I come back here, so I don't want to speak to her about this ever again. and yeah, sicela imali yakhe. On Friday, I don't want stories and I don't want her to contact you. Make it a point that Friday she gets her money back. Because if I have to come back here, it's not going to be cute. Please, let this not happen again. I was like, I will. Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? He said, we are not coming back because you are going to give me what's mine. Okay? And Amanjege, there's no attitude now. She's super nice, she's polite. Cause you know, like when they were speaking to her, they're like, no, but like this person literally said you're her friend. Who takes someone's money and you don't give it back. Max was like, if it means you have to borrow it, because it's a phone. I still remember the feeling that I got, you know, just sitting there and just looking at everything unfold. And I think another thing that just satisfied me the most was the fact that I got there and didn't even have to fight. They literally just stood there. Did I tell you? They were wearing the uniform. That scene, we're standing at the door, they're wearing the uniform, and you know, we knock and they're like, yeah, we're gonna have to open the door, da da da. She opens, she's surprised, and we walk in. And remember, these most policemen are like really like big, not big, but like I feel like the uniform is really respectable, so they appear like really big, and the boots. So I was just like tiny.
Wow, cause yummy.
You know, in that whole situation, I was like the little one, and they were just like so big, and like, you know, just I was just around all of that energy. You know, it was just nice to be in the middle of all of that. As much as I don't like fighting, I feel like I like chaos. I like chaotic situations. So they were like, listen, if there's a problem, you know where to find her. Like, we really don't want to be dealing with such cases. And I was like, take my coochie. I feel like she didn't rate me, obviously, because that Friday I didn't call, I didn't text. Literally, I was going about my day and I got a notification. I had gotten my money back. Did we speak? I don't think we ever spoke again after that. I think I know what it means to have power because of that moment. So yeah, that is the story of how I called the police on someone who owed me 500 rands slash $24. Is it 23 or $24? If you enjoyed this video, please like it. Please leave a comment down below if you've ever gone to the greatest lengths to recover something that was really precious to you. Did you call the police on the person? How did you manage to get your shit back? And if you are a newbie, please subscribe to my channel. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. And yeah, like my shit, check my other shit out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.